What's up, crypto junkies? Welcome to another training video. In this video, I've got something that I think is going to completely change how you look at trading. I've got for you my 5 tips, simple tips on how to improve your trading. And we're going to talk through these because I'm sure you've heard of this stuff before. Some of this you might be looking at and being like, yep, I already knew that. But here's the key difference. There's a lot of stuff we all know. What are you actually doing? What are you actually taking from knowing and studying to integrating into your strategy, integrating into how you do things? Now, the beautiful thing about trading is I think it really is one of the most incredible things ever created. It can create so much freedom for you. It can create so much flexibility for you, but it can also create hell. And it can also completely destroy your life. And I swear, over the last year, watching BitMEX trading platform and seeing people just liquidate over the dumbest swings and seeing people over leverage themselves, which that should have been the 6th tip, is if you're using leverage, do not over leverage yourself. Scale into a position. Make sure you go small enough that you can test the position out. And then when it clearly starts to bounce out of that position, then you would look to add on that or add on a retest or add when it makes sense to a position, not when it's trying to catch a falling knife, or you think that because somebody on Twitter gave you a trading tip that you follow that all the way through and you 100x hero long this thing or hero short it and then get liquidated. So trading really, the edge really is all about your mindset. And it's curious to me that so many traders just dismiss that. Like, no, it's not. It's the indicators. I need the best indicators on TradingView. And I need to have, 13 of them. And then I need this, and I need this, and I need this. Like, the reasons why you think you're not successful are so far from what actually would lead you to success. Let me say that again. What you think is going to lead you to success versus what will actually lead you to success, usually quite different. And I know this for a fact because I've talked to thousands of traders now since 2017 in a variety of conversations, from really great traders to really bad traders. And a lot of times we are blinded by what we think is the problem. And we haven't even fully gone into detective mode to find the actual problems, to then know, what to work on. And you kind of have to treat it like that. Like, I really love to diagnose each trade, like an autopsy, and see, well, what was my mindset like going into that? And how was I feeling? And then what shook me out of that position? Like, let's say I close a position early, which still happens. I had this whole trade position, which is the first simple trading tip here at the top. Have entry and exit plan before you even open a position, right? I do that. But sometimes I get shaken out of the position. And those are the times that I really pay attention because I really screwed up. I really diverted from my plan. I had a clear plan and I changed it. That is not good because even if the plan lost you money, it will build confidence and strength in your inner gut feeling and that intuition and all the other things, the magic that created the entry position to begin with and the exit strategy. What created that to begin with is only fueled by you executing that to the letter. The military executes to the letter, do they not? So they don't execute to the letter and then somebody comes on Twitter and says, hey, I think that war in Syria is a bad idea, and then they stop. So why do traders let their trade positions get swayed by somebody that maybe they like or somebody with more followers than them coming on Twitter and saying, yeah, I think it's going to dump. Well, we were wrong, right? So those are really the key times that you have to pay attention, and you have to reverse engineer and autopsy the crap out of what just happened. Why did you just do that? And I'll tell you what, with myself and the people that I know, 99% of the time, it was emotional exhaustion. You just couldn't take being in the position anymore. It really didn't have anything to do with the tweet or somebody else saying that they were bearish when you're bullish or bullish when you're bearish. It was more that you're in the position for maybe too long. maybe the position isn't moving the way you wanted it to, and all those start to stack up. Maybe we're watching charts too long, too much time per day, and all that started stacking up, and then it was like that was the final straw that broke the camel's back, was somebody else's bias. And you notice I'm talking about all 5 of these because you can see them on the screen, because they really do work together. I can't autopsy my trades unless I'm journaling in some sort of capacity. And everyone doesn't like that term. Not everybody, but a lot of people don't like the term journaling. So I don't care how you do it. You could be doing it on your chart. Like you could have a Bitstamp TradingView chart that's just all your scratches and all your squiggles and all your notes. And then you could have, a completely different maybe the BitMEX charts or, the Binance charts, and those would be the ones that you watch most of the day or something like that, right? You don't have to go get this dedicated journal. You can, but most of the time I'm keeping track in my mind, and then I'm writing down like the key points of what happened with that trade on trades that go right and trades that go wrong. So, and that's not really a complete journal. I'll admit that, that's not really a complete effort, but it's enough for me. Stop watching charts all day. We kind of talked about this, but it deserves to get delved into further. When you watch the charts all day, like let's say the original plan was to open up a long at 8,000 because you think that, this was just a pullback, what you just saw, and it's going to continue on. Bitcoin's going to continue on and, obviously go north, okay? So you open up that and you get a sweet entry. I mean, it was great. It was like 7,980, right? Sweet entry. Bounces immediately out of that zone, starts going up. If you're watching a 1-minute chart, every time it revisits that zone, it's anxiety. Every time it maybe breaks below that, let's say before a 6-hour candle close, we get a dump, we get a stop run, we get something happen. If you're watching like a 1-minute or 5-minute chart, it's going to be pure anxiety for you. And it's even more anxiety if you got like not a so great entry position. And I would even argue that an entry position, everyone tries to catch the falling knife. Everyone tries to get the sweetest entry position. If the asset has momentum in the direction you think it's going to go, and it's proven itself to close above key levels over and over and over again on a higher time frame, then just enter. You don't have to like, oh my gosh, if I didn't get the 6,000 entry, I'm going to explode. Who cares? Because it's got the momentum, it's going to go up to who knows where, 10, 20, 5, it's going to go up 5,000, 10,000, 20,000, whatever. And there's your profit. So there's a really low tech, low stress-free way of doing this. But I will say that it can't be some like part-time joke. It can't be a hobby. I see a lot of people conflicted about this. I'm in this space all day long. Believe me, I know the dialogue, I know the conversations. And there is this train of thought that says, hey, you got to treat this like a business. And I agree with it from the standpoint that when you are in a business, what changes? You're committed, are you not? You're taking it serious, are you not? You're tracking your numbers, correct? So, like, if you want to call it a business or just say that you're not going to treat this as some part-time hobby bullshit, either way, it's the same kind of thing. But it's because you're going to be more methodical and take it more serious if you treat it like a business. So if you got to do that for yourself, then do it. But all of these things that we're talking about in this entire conversation are all habits that can be trained. Now, habits, depending on which little process or research you read, take 7 days, 11, 30, or 60. Who cares which one is right? Just keep doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over again, and eventually it will be your new default. Meaning that in the same way you put on your shoes, you tie your laces, you don't even know what you're doing. It's a subconscious pattern that's just running. Same thing we want here. So that way we kind of, I think to a degree, you don't really want to know why you just got into a position. not because I'm guessing, but because you're in tune with the market, because you're in tune with yourself, because you're in tune with your strategy. You use the same indicators and they tell you you use them to tell the same story over and over and over again. And you're able to just open up these positions. And it's not like you could stop in the moment and explain it. That's what you want, because then you know it's a subconscious habit. It is a pattern. It's your new default. That means you know what you're doing. That means you know what you're doing. All right. Now, of course, you'd be able to justify that position. And again, I'm not saying just guess and shoot it at the dark. Okay. And I'm not saying to just go out on a whim and you go to a tarot card reader and then base trading decisions off of that either. I'm not saying go either which way, too far off the deep end each way, right? Okay, so journal trading efforts, yeah, you want to be documenting that in some sort of way. And then also too, like you need to be keeping yourself in check. So this don't let others' bias change yours. What that means is, everyone's great in a position when it's up, but when it starts to turn against you, or maybe you've been in it too long, and then you add life on top of that, right? So let's say you're really getting after it, which a lot of traders aren't. A lot of traders are, I don't think they're millennial, but they're the one that comes after that. So they're young, okay? They're really young. They're not really going to the gym and exercising. They're like online, on Twitter, on Telegram, on Discord, on TradingView all day long. And you wonder why they're constantly losing. They're not getting better over time. They're a little too inundated into it. And also, too, they don't have their own defined strategy, their own way of doing things, their own set of indicators that tell them the pieces of the story. And so they're just, getting dragged down the river based on what they're seeing other people say and do. So right now, if, Joe comes out and posts something and is convincing, oh man, I'm with you, Joe. Yep, he's right. But then Brad, 20 minutes later, comes out with an even more convincing or equally convincing story going the opposite way. What are you going to do? So that's why, you need your own thing. You need your own strategy. You need your own set of indicators. And you need to know yourself to a degree that when you get up against a wall like this and you start getting all these other life stresses and you've been in a position for weeks and what do I do? And I could have closed out the position with, 1,000 ROE, but now it's, negative, right? Those are all the things you're going to go through, which I say, you should be going through those in your mind before you even enter the position. You should be knowing where you're willing to go with this thing before you even open a position. How bad are you willing to let it get? Because in the moments of pain, what always happens is we ask ourselves, what? Why? Why am I doing this, right? Why do I have this long open? I could just take a loss right now, a 50% loss, and I'll be fine. The pain will stop. That's the mental game. And it never quits, and it never stops. The only thing that changes in this game is how you approach it, your perspective, your mindset. So I believe firmly that mindset is like the only thing we should be talking about. It's the only thing that really matters with this. Because with the proper mindset, you could be an idiot with everything else and probably outtrade most people. All right, that's all I've got for you. I do have something that I think might help. I don't think it'll help everyone. I definitely believe that you need to be ready for this sort of a change, and I wasn't even shooting this video for this, but now it just actually makes sense now that we've talked through this whole thing. I've got a course that I just released called Peak Mindset Principles. It's all the stuff that I've learned through the years with the meditation, with the being a peak athlete and pushing for more there, pushing through the pain there, with being a trader. And all the ups and downs that's had, the swings. Up 300,000, down 200,000, right? All of that through the years of not just trading, but being an entrepreneur and, going through my journey, which many of you don't even know about. That has helped me create these exercises that I use on myself. The stuff in this course, I literally use every day on myself. And I think it might help some of you. So if you're interested, if you're like, oh my God, this sounds amazing, go check it out. It'll be the first link underneath this video. Otherwise, all the resources that you need are underneath this video and ways to support us are underneath this video. Some sweet Crypto Junkie merch, links to go and get that and purchase that, as well as some other affiliate offers, I believe. And that just helps us, continue to make great content like this. If you like it, click the thumbs up. If you don't, click the thumbs down. You got something to say, or this hit the sweet spot for you today, I'd love to hear, and I'll make sure that I personally comment and respond back. Comment below. If you're brand new, subscribe, hit the bell notification or the bell, so that way you tell YouTube that you want to know when we upload videos, and hopefully you get them, okay? Because I noticed that alerts don't always go out, but there you have it. Be on the lookout. More videos dropping soon.